Welcome back to the Level Up Climbing Series. I'm Marcus, a not-so-great climber from Vancouver, Canada, who's hoping to get a little bit better through analysis and just general motivation for climbing. Throughout this episode, I'll be sharing some tips and tricks that I've learned, and a lot of the stuff from this week is stuff that I had actually seen on YouTube. And being able to implement them throughout my sessions was kind of cool, and just seeing whether or not they would work. So for this first session, I took it pretty chill. In case you've missed it, I have a finger injury, which I'll actually get into a little bit more later. But on top of that, I was climbing with one of my friends who's never climbed before. So this wasn't necessarily a try-hard session. It was more of just like a feel-good session, try and get on a couple different climbs and then figure things out. This green was a 3-hex that I ended up having a lot more trouble with than I was expecting. The move to that pinch with the right hand just now was pretty tough. And here I cannot see the green hold I'm on, so I'm just slowly dabbing the black and I have no idea where the actual foothold is. And so I could lie to you and say I mashed this, but I absolutely did not. Honestly, I managed to get the left hand up for like half a second, but I just couldn't hold it, and I bailed. So yeah, here I feel like I had to use some momentum, be a little dynamic, and just really commit to that high right hand. And it's a pretty awkward 3-hex. It looks a lot easier than it actually is. The body positioning is a little tricky. And now knowing that this green left foothold is right underneath the black volume, it was a lot easier to find, and it was an easy match. This blue 4-hex is something I tried previously. I think the crux is making it to the next hold here, and I had given it just one try and felt it was just out of my reach today, so I didn't even really feel like going again. This yellow 3-hex, the start looked pretty interesting, but honestly besides that, it was just super chill. Nothing I really learned from it, but again, that's okay. The whole point of this session was just to get moving. So this green 4-hex was one that I felt like I could get for the session. I cut feet a lot though, and so the main thing became focusing on body tension. So even on that first move, I cut feet by accident. And so on this next try, I focus on keeping that body tension and just go straight to the next move, and it feels a lot better. If you watch the left foot, I switch into a toe hook, and I realize, oh, the toe hook's pretty helpful. So on the next attempt here, I go pretty much straight into a toe hook. Yep, and it makes the next move a lot easier. And again, I'm just focusing on body tension. So once we land that move, I realized that I need to switch feet, so it should have been right foot out and heel hooked instead of whatever my left foot was doing. So that's just what I do here, heel hook on the right, and I managed to make that move. And again, I don't know why. This climb, I was just cutting feet so much. But it really unlocked something in me of like, oh, we are trying real hard right now. And luckily for me, that last move was a jug, and since I knew it, I was able to just commit to it. But man, it felt bad to be cutting so much. I think that was like 3-4 cuts in that like send alone. This yellow was kind of cool. Here I unfortunately make the mistake of bumping with the right hand, and now my arms are too spread apart, and I could not find a way to release either of them. I think I considered shooting left hand here, but I decided to bail out on it. I think if the gym was a little less busy, I wouldn't mind throwing myself, but there's quite a few people underneath. So here I focused on matching first and then moving the hands, and from there it was pretty easy. And so since it was a pretty chill session, this actually ended up being the last climb. This is a pink 4-hex with a lachey that I've been trying, and absolutely butchered the first move, I realized I need to lâche a couple less times and make sure I stay in control. And here, again, I'm just focusing on trying to make the distance. But after that, I just called it a day. So for my warm-ups, I'll now be doing some finger rehabbing. After seeing a physiotherapist telling me I have a tendon strain, they were saying to do some progressive finger loading. And I happened to see an Emil Abramson video around this time who was suggesting doing some no hangs. So here you see I'll be doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 5 minutes. And this is not exactly his protocol, but I think it's a lighter version that's probably a little bit more helpful for me right now, and I might progress into that later. But I think it's really interesting. He's been doing it for 2-3 years now, and he had just posted a video talking about doing a study about it, and just the amount of gains he made from doing no hangs instead of full hangs was insane. And one of the biggest benefits was it helped him rehab his finger injury, and it seemed more like low risk. So for now, I'll be doing those. And in fact, I actually got a hangboard at home. So I'm going to try and do those pretty much twice a day, every day. Once in the morning, once in the evening, assuming I remember. But yeah, so for this black 4 hex, I had fallen on just one of the moves. Using that first attempt, I kind of adjusted my beta to get into the proper positions here. And the move I fell on, I think it was I literally just missed. So it was pretty easy. And I was happy to get this send. I was actually kind of surprised that it was a 4 hex. It felt relatively okay. I thought it was probably just going to be a hard 3, but we'll take it. Now, if you've been following the series, you'll know this orange 4 hex has been a nightmare, and I just cannot make this move. But I was really excited this week to try it because I'd been seeing a lot of tips and advice in comments as well as in some videos that I'd been watching. So one of the first comments was about trying to rotate my toe towards the right. Hopefully this will get my hips a little closer to the wall. But I just found that I was cutting the toe almost immediately. So I actually found that I had to twist my hips to the left instead, and that would help. A Zach Richardson video was saying to release the toe hook as slowly as possible in kind of like micro shifts. So here I'm going pretty slow, and it actually feels pretty good. I feel like that's pretty doable. So that got me pretty excited, but still, holding this swing felt impossible. So we saved it for another day. This blue 4 hex, I saw quite a few people struggling on it, but honestly, it felt not too bad. To me, again, I thought this was probably going to be like a 3 hex. It's pretty straightforward. For the most part, you're just going left, right, left, just trying to find some good footing. And although it's crimpy, it's not super crimpy. Pretty straightforward. I think one thing to note, though, is throughout this whole session, my finger was actually feeling really good. This is the first session so far that I had 0 pain. And even by the end of the session, I had no pain. And so I don't know if it was the no hangs or what, but I was feeling really good. That said, I still wasn't pushing myself as hard as I could. But yeah, it just felt a lot better. So on this pink 4 hex, I mostly just try to get this dyno move. And eventually I realized, I think the main difference for me here was I start focusing on starting with the right foot on the volume. I feel like I can just generate so much more force opposed to starting with straight into the swing. Unfortunately, it's still really far, but I feel like I can make it sometime soon. On this attempt, I kind of my foot completely slips and I go straight into the wall. Luckily, I saved myself with my hands, but definitely spooked me, and I walked away after this attempt. So next we're in Surrey. And it's kind of funny. I had done 2 1-hexes for warm-up, and I looked at this one thinking it was a 2-hex because it's ungraded. And as I'm grabbing these holds, I'm like, oh, these are a little less juggy than I thought. And I get to the next couple of holds and I go, oh, these are pretty bad, but maybe the next ones will be juggier. And the next ones were a bit juggier, but this was a difficult, long climb. My body definitely was not ready for a 4-hex like this. And I was already feeling pretty pumped by here. I don't even think the beta there I was doing was correct with the hands, but we were kind of doing whatever we could, and just the mental aspect of thinking I was warming up and finding out I have to switch it on and try hard was a lot. And that next move is just really far. So I was pretty pumped and gassed right from the start of the session, but still we hopped onto climbs, took longer rests, and just figured things out. This blue 3-hex was something I saw quite a lot of people struggling on too, but I think just figuring out the right sequence, it's really not too bad. All the holds are pretty juggy. It's just a matter of like committing and finding the feet for it. Into this Gaston, which again, I love Gastons, and the finish move is the finish hold is the jug, so it's pretty easy. This purple 4-hex I had tried last week. I had fallen on the matching the finish hold, but this week I thought I was pretty confident that I'd be able to send it. So here it's a press and then left hand to the crimp, where we go into this. I don't even know if that counts as an undercling, but like, yeah, downturned hold, toe hook, and I think finding that right foot there made things so much easier. I think that's the main difference. So next we moved on to this black 4-hex, and this black 4-hex was tricky. First of all, this reach was like pretty far. Something I was happy with here is I focus on really twisting that left knee inwards. It just made it feel so much more comfortable going into that next match, where it's just it lets me get slightly more to the right where that undercling feels okay. And I couldn't figure out how to get to this next hold. If you notice, everything is just kind of in that line there. The right hand, left hand, and foot are all just in one linear line. And so it was pretty hard to generate momentum to the right. Here I consider going into the hold right above, but it still feels awkward and it doesn't really help with the whole in a line situation. So I try and go back to that first method, but I kind of screw up the feet at the end. I have my right foot out when I think my right foot should be on the foothold and left foot to the left. But I just save it for next time. I was feeling pretty pumped. This blue 4-hex was a climb that I had spent quite a bit of time on last week, but I was excited to give it another go. That said, I was not too confident because it really just felt like a flexibility issue, and I really don't know if I've gotten any more flexible than I did last week. Still, regardless, it was something that I really felt like was in my send range, and it was a matter to me of just try harder, I guess. So here, this is the crux move. In case you didn't watch last episode, just getting that foot up is extremely difficult, and I keep getting really close. I'm basically right on it there, but it's really hard to get right on top of that foothold. And while talking with some friends, they had actually recommended turning my left knee towards the left, getting into more of a froggy position, which to me didn't really make sense. I feel like I have so much more range of motion in like a lunge type position instead of a frog, but I ended up giving it a try here. So you see my left knee is tries to turn, I guess it's more into the wall here, but somehow I'm actually just a little bit closer, I think. I don't even know if that's what made the difference, or if I just tiptoed more on the left, but somehow I made it just up, and from there the send's pretty easy. So I really don't know what exactly the difference was, but I was happy to have gone that send, especially since it was something I spent so many attempts on last episode. This back 4 hex is also something I tried last episode. I had ended up making it to the top of the left 2 slopers there, and couldn't find any way to make it any further. But luckily I had gone beta about trying to use the right foot as the right hold as a heel hook or toe hook, whatever felt more comfortable. So here I'm trying to find that foothold on the right. I managed to find the heel there, and from there I can slowly come up, and that's essentially the move. You should go left hand to the side pull and kind of dyno into right hand to the big circular one. But I still found it really tough. Here I couldn't find it, and I just tried toe hooking the volume just to see, but that definitely was not the beta. And also just not having enough height, I try and get like the side of my foot, since using just the heel really limits the range of motion for me. But again, I still can't really grab anything, so I go back to trying to use the heel technique. So yep. Oh, well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I switched to a toe. No, good. I did end up using the heel, and I slide up, and at least I made progress. I don't know if that'll go in the future, but at least we were making moves. So this orange 4 hex is the climb that I had given up on quite a while ago. I couldn't even make the start, but a bunch of my friends were trying it, and it got me pretty psyched to give it a go as well. So for the first move, I was having a little bit of trouble even just starting. And so essentially what I did is I focused on really weighing the right hand, and then only after they were weighed did I get the left foot up. So that was just like a small little mental thing for me, because I don't think I was weighing the hands properly. From here, everyone just kind of rocks over to the right, but for me, for some reason, I just decided to go for this like thumb undercling type push and into a one-legged squat, and for some reason it just felt so correct. I don't know how to describe it. For me, I was like, oh, that's just the beta from my body. I really didn't think I'd get this far, so I wasn't even sure what to do from here. Luckily my friends tell me to go right hand to that hold, and then it's just into this little foot switch. And the problem I made was I put my foot too far to the right. It sounds obvious, but your left foot big toe is on the right, while your right foot big toe is on the left. So you shouldn't be stacking foot over foot. And instead, I need to put my left foot a little further left if I'm trying to switch. Again, sounds super obvious, but in the moment, it wasn't something I was thinking about at all. And so here I just focused on placing my left foot further left, and I managed to stick it. And what I want you to focus on here now is my left hand into this dyno. My left hand comes towards my body, and I kind of miss the hold. It's funny though, because this week Zach Richardson had just posted a video talking about how to go to blocked holds, and what he talks about is trying to strain the arm and aim it directly at the hold that you're going to. And I actually think of this not while I'm on the ground, but right as I'm about to go to the blocked hold, and I think, oh, this is the perfect chance to try that. So that's exactly what I do here. So you'll see, instead of coming down towards my body, I decide to stick my left hand up. I'm aiming it, and it felt so much easier. I don't know how to describe it. I just felt so locked in as I moved, and it just felt so easy. And so it was just an amazing tip of the day from Zach, and I was just really psyched to have gone that. Juxtaposing that crazy send is this yellow 3 hex, where I literally think I spent almost an entire minute just trying to figure out how to start this thing. The right foothold is not amazing, and it's both hands on this volume. and it just feels so awkward. There's like a little hold there at the bottom where you see my left hand is right now, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to use that, if I just use the top of the volume. Do I toe hook around the arete? What exactly is the move here? I tried it this way, starting low, but again, the arete now feels too far, and there's nothing really to grab with the right hand except the arete, and so I just could not figure this out. I guess this was just kind of a reminder to me that I still need a lot of work in terms of reading beta. I do think it's something that I can be like pretty creative about, finding a bunch of different ways to at least attempt or try a problem, but this one I just couldn't figure it out, even though the solution was so simple. I eventually saw my brother do it, and you just go for the higher right foothold, and it's just so easy from there. So I think I still just need to sometimes maybe look for a simpler solution. Like just try the other footholds there is kind of really the answer. That said, the rest of this problem was actually pretty cool. I kind of liked it. You go to this like upward thumb press here, which is something I'm realizing I've been pretty good at today, especially since I used it on that orange move, or that orange climb previously. And then finding the toe hook on the arete, which is something I'm not great at, toe hooks in general. So being able to hold this, I was pretty happy with, and then the finish is just a jug. So I was pretty happy about that send. So at the end of sessions, I'm planning to do more strength and mobility exercises. If you look at previous weeks, I was looking at trying to strengthen my hip flexors. So here I'm doing these kettlebell raises with my leg. This kind of also helps with toe hooks a little bit. I feel like I have to really flex that foot. And so I'm doing 10 reps on each side with right now a 8 kilogram kettlebell. And don't forget to switch sides. Next, for ankle mobility, I'm doing these kettlebell leans. Straight up, I don't actually know necessarily the name of these exercises, but yeah, I'm trying to keep the heel down, and I'll just hold it there for a bit. And I think this was a 12 kilogram weight. Just trying to get my knees over my toes as far as possible to just try and increase that ankle mobility. And I think this will help with my climbing overall, like significantly, since I think ankle mobility is something that I lack. But yeah, I'm also doing 10 sets, or 10 reps on each side, trying to hold for about 3 seconds, give or take. Just like the other exercise, I do it on both sides. Just gotta make sure everything's even. And I think I realized I had a bit more mobility on the right. Last thing was just tricep extensions. So I'm trying to do 2 sets of 10 dips, just so that I can really work on my press strength. Even though it's something I feel like I was previously good at, it's something that I think I have been struggling with lately, especially in some mentals. So yeah, I'm hoping that all this will make me a better climber.